The all-new Civic lineup features not only a new styling direction, but a new platform and powertrain. It'll bring an expanded lineup with more body styles and variants than ever before. In every way, this will be an epic Civic. This new Civic will be hands down the most dynamic, the most technologically advanced, and the most refined and stylish Civic we've ever brought to market. That the first ever application of Honda's new VTEC turbo engine will be in the new Civic. And today, we're excited to reveal that we will be introducing the new Civic 5-door to our US lineup. The final design of the North American Civic was created in our Los Angeles design studio and is being developed and engineered in Ohio. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the global debut of the all-new, from the ground up, Honda Civic concept.
The 10th generation, the next Civic concept.
All right, I'm Gerald Irish with Temple of VTEC. We're here with Guy Melville-Brown. He is the lead exterior designer on the new global 2016 Civic Coupe, but the whole Civic product, basically. Civic concept. Excellent. So we'd like to just talk to you a little bit about some of the design features that you put into this car and kind of what are some of the concepts and interesting things that you've been able to achieve, and also kind of some of the challenges that you overcame with, sculpting the car, this frankly stunning car that you brought here today. So I guess talk about when you began this project, what was the mandate you were given for the Civic? As a clean sheet, engineering design, did they say, hey, make the most stunning, best-looking Civic, or what was your design brief for this car?
So essentially, what we set out to do was to create the most charismatic, the sportiest, the most fun to drive, the most aggressive Civic we've ever made. We wanted to go beyond the superficial and embrace the very philosophy of what a true Civic should be, a real game changer, a car that Mr. Honda himself would be proud of. And that's kind of where we set the bar when we were designing this car.
So, I guess what we would like to talk about is, you're talking about, some, I guess, for design philosophies or design goals with different parts of the car. So one thing you said is that you wanted to be recognizable when you see this at night, during the day. It has a very striking, recognizable, face from the front. And what are some of the other design elements and design goals that you have for the front end of this car? Because you see how, it stretches, it curves, and you've achieved a lot of different things here. So can you speak a little bit to that?
Yeah, sure. So one of the things we really tried to push with this car is I think it has excellent proportions. For instance, what we've done is we pulled the A-pillars back, and that gives a much better kind of dash-to-axle ratio. The front overhang is shorter than the current car, but because we pull the A-pillar back, you get a longer hood. The wheelbase is slightly longer. The car is wider than the current vehicle. It's shorter, and it has a kind of a slightly longer rear overhang. So it's almost like we took the Civic, we sent it down to the gym for like a year, we got it working out, and so that increase in size, again, speaks to the idea of increased performance, that sportiness, that fun to drive, that aggression.
So, one interesting thing, is looking at this design, there's some elements here that you really don't see in any cars. Like with the trunk line, follows the fender line here, and then I guess the body panels. You have one continuous body panel. Were there any particular challenges like having something that looks so well integrated and, frankly, premium?
It was definitely a big push. This was something that we, as a global team, wanted to push from the outset. We wanted to improve the fit and finish on the vehicle. So you see on the car, a lot of the lines are a lot more precise and more chiseled than you see on the current vehicle. And that helps to give this kind of more premium or more refined feel to the vehicle. And as you see these kind of chiseled premium lines, they then are intersected by these very emotional, quite virile kind of surfaces. So there's a lot of movement on the car. Because this car, it's very sporty. It's going to be a lot of fun to drive. And we really wanted to kind of educate both the user and the public as to that emotion that the car is going to key into.
So you have a very aggressive sloping line here, and then you've got it. Even the trunk slopes off down to the side here. So what were the ideas that led to kind of a very fastback sports car looking rear roof of the car?
Well, we felt like this silhouette was the silhouette that best spoke and best kind of exemplified this kind of emotion, this aggression, this sporty feel that we felt the Civic had to have. You know, I think when you look at Honda as a brand and what it stands for, you know, Honda is a brand that's just got back into Formula One. It has a huge amount of heritage when it comes to racing and sports. And I think Civic, more than any other car within the brand, almost needs to act as something of a halo product within the brand. Civic should be this puristic, undiluted, you know, statement of DNA as to what Honda stands for. And that's kind of what we try to key into with this vehicle.
There are a lot of things that look very daring and, you know, avant-garde, especially for this segment of car. Was there any particular thing you would like to point out that is, you know, kind of something that's exceptional for that you guys were able to achieve?
I mean, there's a couple of things. One thing that we're very happy with is if you look at the cabin, what we did is we kind of pushed the cabin in a little bit, and what that did in turn is to create a kind of more sporty and personal space within the interior. But in doing so, we brought a lot of real estate over the wheel arches. So as you look here, over both the front and the rear wheels, you have these kind of huge haunches, and that again is I think that leads this kind of very expression of emotion that the car has, and it really puts the emphasis on those, both the front and the rear wheels, and talks to that sportiness, that kind of fun to drive feel. One thing we're incredibly proud of, which was a point you brought up earlier, was the LED signature lighting, both the front and the rear of the vehicle. You know, when you see the Honda Civic on the road right now, and in the nighttime, it's very hard to kind of differentiate it and pull it apart from other cars on the road. Whereas what we set out to do with this car is create a vehicle that when the sun drops below the horizon, the DNA and the characteristics don't fade. So now when you're following this car on the freeway, or you're driving along and you check your rear view mirror, and you see this car coming up behind you, you're going to know instantly it's a Civic. And that for us was something we're very proud of.
Excellent. It might make you a little bit hard to escape the police if you're speeding, but how does the design language and some of the concepts you've put onto this car, the coupe, going to translate onto the sedan and then the 5-door? Can we expect to see the same level of, you know, panache and aggression in the other body styles of this car? Well,
what we're looking at with this concept is a vehicle that's very much elemental of what you can expect from the forthcoming 10th generation Honda Civic lineup. You know, this is a concept that embraces that, you know, this emotion, this fun to drive, this low, wide feel, the stance, the aggression that the car exudes, and it's these emotions that we can expect from the forthcoming production car. So we can expect the sedan to go on sale in the fall of 2015 and the coupe to go on sale in the winter of 2015. There's a number of derivatives to follow that unfortunately we can't talk about today, but there's a lot of good stuff to come, so stay tuned.
And then hatchback 2016 calendar year or model year?
I don't have the information on that at this point in time, but there are going to be a number of derivatives within this Civic lineup. So yeah, stay tuned.
So,
ask him if you worked on any of those, or can you say?
So have you worked? You can't say what you've worked on, but can you say that you have worked on some of these other derivatives?
Not really. I can't say.
Oh wow. Okay. Any closing thoughts or notes about the car you'd like to communicate to the fan base?
I mean, really, it's what we set out to do is just to make the most charismatic, the sportiest, the most aggressive Civic we've ever made. You know, kind of really embrace that puristic view and philosophy of what Honda stands for, and that was basically what we wanted to do with this car, and we're very proud of it.
And I think you've achieved it. So one last question. So how did the lime green come about? Who chose the color? Who? I mean, this is outrageous. Like, where did it come from?
This color has a name. It's New Energy Green.
Oh wow! Okay.
And so this is a concept car color, but we felt that this color best exemplified that kind of statement, that emotion that we wanted this car to have. And I have an extra thing. I have a pair of socks.
Oh wow! Is that in the Honda catalog or?
It's not in the Honda catalog. It should be. It should be. But we kind of had fun with this color.
New Energy Green. Okay, so start pesting your dealership about it. Yeah. And Wow. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Really excited about the car. You guys have done a phenomenal job.
Thank you. That's awesome to
And
hear.
yeah, we can't wait to get behind the wheel. Thanks again.
No, thank you very much.
Cool.